Welcome to the Made in Monroe podcast. Today I have the true honor of interviewing two trailblazers here in Monroe who have really paved the way in our community through both their family business and healthcare. Joe and Linda Holyfield, welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you guys for being here today. So when I think of the Holyfield name, I mean, today I really do feel like I'm sitting down with family. At the end of the day, you guys have known me since I was born, basically. And so the Holyfield name really is a household name at this point. You can't go anywhere in our community where the Holyfields have not made an impact. And so, Joe, tell me a little bit about how long you've been in business and how Holyfield Construction got started.
Well, I've been in business probably 50 years, since the mid-'70s, and I really got started when I was in college, working summer jobs, doing little odd jobs, making money, working on houses, doing paint work, doing a little carpenter work, little things like that, and that's kind of how I got started. One thing led to the other. I built a camp for a fellow up on Lake Darbone, Dave Cater, built a camp for him, and then I got it hooked up with the doctors and become a home builder initially, and then that led to doing more commercial work and doing the things that we do now.
Did you have an initial vision for the company, or did you ever imagine that it would be what it is today?
No, I don't think in your early 20s, I don't think anybody has a true vision of what a business would be, but it grew, and with the help of the community, it was successful.
Well, when you look around Monroe, as I said before, and really you look down here at the corridor of Tower Drive, you guys' fingerprints are all over it. Like you can't go anywhere in Monroe where you guys have not just touched something or impacted something. And so as I was thinking about today, just kind of sharing your story together, how has that impacted you as well, just the construction company and your family as a whole?
Well, we've worked together from day one. We've not really ever had a plan. We've just, whatever needed to be done, we gave 110% effort and did whatever it was necessary to do to get it done, as long as it was right thing to do, and it was helping people.
Right.
And that's always been our family philosophy, is what can we do to make a difference in a community that's been so good to us.
Right. It's your way of giving back.
Right, absolutely.
Are you surprised to see where it's grown today?
Yeah.
Yes, I am, really I am. I didn't have this, the vision was there to develop the street, and I was very lucky to have people in my business that in our relationships with people like the Weavers, Dewey especially. Dewey built an office next to my office.
Right.
Built another office across the street from my office, and built another one over here. So Dewey played a big role in that. So we've been very fortunate as far as developing the street, is having the people that would come in and invest the money and the effort to build and do something of that quality. And I've been very fortunate, very blessed for that.
So you now have kids. You guys have raised a family here. You now have kids that are raising kids here. What does the future of Holyfield Construction look like?
Well, that's actually very good. Chris is doing a super job with it. I don't tell him how much I appreciate what he's done, but he's been super about handling that, doing a good job, stepping up. And the construction company is not easy to run. It's a little tough job. He's doing a great job. Lisa's doing a great job on the development company. She moved back here 3 or 4 years ago from New York, and she worked part-time. She would fly back and forth and work, and she stepped up and she works with our development company, a lot of our office buildings. She manages those for us. So I've been very blessed that I got 2 great kids that have taken hold and grab and running with it. And I also have a grandson now that's starting in the business. He's working this summer building a job here in town. So it's kind of the 3rd generation that's coming through there. So it kind of makes you proud of that you've been able to do that and that they stick with it. Same thing you're seeing with the Weavers. So.
Well, I always say that really does start from the top down, and I think in our family, just with Dad, it was modeled from the top down, but I think that's true of you guys. You guys really, you've lived what you've said. It's not just been words, it's been actions behind that, and so I think your kids have been able to see that, and now your grandkids, and they want to be a part of that. It's contagious to some degree. It is. Well, Linda, you have had your own just amazing career that you've built here, almost 30 years in healthcare?
Actually, 46
years. 46 years in healthcare
before I retired, yes.
My goodness. How did you get into that, and really what led to that career and to you being such a voice and an advocate for people in this community?
Well, I was drawn to healthcare, and I was graduated for nursing from Northeast at the time, now ULM, and I started working as an ICU nurse at St. Francis Medical Center, and My whole career, I was involved with St. Francis and/or in a St. Francis partnership. So I've always given a lot. I have a knack for management, I guess, because I gravitated towards management roles. And I ran all the ICUs in the emergency department for like 15 years. And then they just decided they want me to do other stuff. And I cried and I said, I don't know how to do that stuff. And they asked me to develop the first community health center. And I didn't have a clue. And so I relied on Joe because I had to work with the contractors. So I would make him come at night and tell me what to ask. And the next day I'd have these notes. And I'd meet with the little superintendent and say, "Now, what's about this?" What he really thought I knew what I was doing. So everything I learned was at kind of the Braille method, trying to learn, and because none of it I was educated in. I was never educated in business or anything like that. So fast forward, I was asked to develop and turn a little ambulatory surgery center around. And over the years, we actually turned that into one of the top premier surgical hospitals in the country.
Wow.
And then that was also a joint venture with St. Francis, so we've always been partners with St. Francis. And I've had the opportunity to work with numerous physicians, rural hospitals, and then from there we grew a management company that manages a lot of those things. And so that kind of took off. And so it just morphed. We always said if we really ever had a strategic plan, we might scare ourselves.
Right.
Because we just kind of, whatever the opportunity came along, and it seemed the right thing to do with the skill sets we had, we kind of just did it if someone had a need.
Right.
And we were very successful at it. So I retired a year and a half ago, and we always gave good care. We did it for the right reasons. Our patient satisfaction was always high. Our prices were lower than everybody else, at P&S in particular. And we did things, our complications were low, we were rarely sued because everything went so well. I mean, I'm really proud of the clinical systems we put in place.
Well, you can look at the opportunities. You said it. It's the opportunity and the people that are here. I mean, we all good friends. You know everybody in town. You go to a restaurant, you see your friends. It's really a friendly community, which encourages development of whatever you're trying to accomplish in life. So it's the community, the people in the community.
We have the assets here. If you look at what we've experienced and what's really here, you look at the educational assets. You look at our healthcare system. It may not be perfect, but we are blessed to have the system we have here. We have retail, we have culture. We have a ballet and a symphony. We have diversity. We just have talent in east, west, north, and south of this community that we can build on, and we have a lot of good people here. We may have our issues and problems, but what community doesn't? But, I'm not from here. I grew up in Southern California and moved here in high school. But I was able to raise my family among friends and relatives and people that wrapped their arms around us that I never would have ever experienced in Southern California. It was real transient. You didn't know people very long. They moved in and out. And so it's really unique to experience that, especially if you've never experienced that before.
Yeah, so I was in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I moved to Orlando and then Los Angeles and Dallas, and I found the same thing, that you're just another person at the end of the day. And here you walk into the grocery store and sometimes you have to time it and be like, okay, I'm not going to go to the grocery until 7 at night because if I go at 5, I'm going to be in there for an extra hour.
That's right.
But I think it's the people that really make our community and that make this place home at the end of the day.
I totally agree with you on that. It is true.
So, Joe, what's next?
Well, there's a lot of next coming up. Obviously, I've been working with the Biomedical Research Park, which is just down the street. It's a 60,000 square foot building, 4-story building, which should create around 400 jobs is what we have estimated. So I think that's one of the things that's next. Obviously, I'm involved in economic development. There's a lot of opportunities that are taking place out at the old Lumen building. I shouldn't say old; it's fairly new, but the Lumen building that now ULM has a huge opportunity for that. And then also what we've done as a whole, as a community, we've come together. We've got mayors that are working together. We got the university. Dr. Berry is phenomenal. Happened at the community college. Both our mayors. The police jury is being more engaged now. There's a lot of opportunities that are going to take place from the economic development opportunities. We have a lot of economic development assets in our market that have not been developed and marketed. And I think this is something that will be what's coming next. As far as from the family perspective, we're working with to do another restaurant here in town, a Perro, and then we also have we bought a building over in Ruston. We're doing a restaurant over there. So there's some things our family is doing, and still looking at any other opportunities that may pop up in our community. So,
what I love about you guys is when y'all do something, it really does impact the community. Like you may be doing it from a business perspective, but there's always a community impact as well. And there's always giving back is at the forefront of you guys' minds. And so I agree with you on where we are going next for Monroe. I think we have all of the right players and all of the right pieces in place to really, really make Monroe even better than it already is.
Yeah, it gives the opportunity to make a difference. Go ahead.
Well, God's been really good to our family. And Monroe's been very good to our family. And when you're blessed like we are, then you have obligations and responsibilities to give back. Mm-hmm. And you need to give and give, because you really can't give too much. Mm-hmm. You know, and so that's really, and we try to do that in all different ways, from leadership, time, talent, treasure. You know, we try to do all three and set an example. And it doesn't matter what your means are or how poor or rich you are. Giving within your means is giving. Giving, if you can't afford to give, you've got good hands and you can help somebody, you can care for somebody, you can read to a child at school. There's a lot of different things you can do. You just have to think about it and have to get out of your own little bubble and do what's right. So
you just have to be a willing and able vessel.
Absolutely,
at the end of the day, right?
We've watched you do that, Cody.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I learned from the best. I turn that right back on you. Well, thank you again.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
We appreciate the opportunity to tell our story.
Absolutely. So.
All right. Thanks.
All righty.
Good job, everybody.
In and out quickly, too.
want?
You're out of here before 8:30.
I know, I got to take